The Lotus Sutra, Chapter 10, The Expounder of the Dharma. Thereupon, the Bhagavat, by addressing Bodhisattva Vaisajaya Raja, or Medicine King, through him addressed 80,000 Mahasattvas, saying, quote, O Vaisajaya Raja, in this assembly do you see innumerable humans and non-humans, such as Devas, Naga kings, Yaksas, Gandharvas, Asuras, Garudas, Kimnaras, Mahoragas, monks, nuns, laymen and laywomen, those seeking the Sravaka vehicle, the Pratyeka vehicle, and the Buddha path? If, in the presence of the Buddha, any beings such as these hear a single verse or line of the Lotus Sutra, and thereupon have even one thought of rejoicing in it, I will bestow upon them my prediction that they will attain highest complete enlightenment. The Buddha addressed Vaisajaya Raja, saying, quote, If, after the parinirvana of the Tathagata, any being hears even a single verse or line of the Lotus Sutra, and thereupon has even one thought of rejoicing in it, I will bestow upon them the prediction that they will attain highest, complete enlightenment. If there is anyone who preserves, recites, explains, or copies even a single verse of the Lotus Sutra, or who respects this sutra as if it were a Buddha, or who reverently offers it various flowers, perfumes, necklaces, fragrant ointments, scented powders, burning incense, canopies, flags, banners, clothing, or music, or who simply honors it with his palms pressed together. Know, O Vaisajaya Raja, that this person has already paid homage to tens of myriads of kotis of Buddhas of the past. Such people have completed their great vow in the presence of all the Buddhas, and yet they have been born as humans out of their compassion for sentient beings. O Vaisajaya Raja, if anyone should ask you what kind of sentient being will become a Buddha in the future, you should inform them that it is those of this kind who will definitely become Buddhas in the future. Why is this? If there are any sons or daughters of a virtuous family who preserve, recite, explain, and copy even a single line of the Lotus Sutra, or who pay homage to this sutra with various offerings of flowers, perfumes, necklaces, scented powders and ointments, burning incense, canopies, flags, banners, clothing, or music, or who honor it with their palms pressed together, such people should be respected by the entire world. They should be revered in the same way as the Tathagata is revered. Know that these people are great bodhisattvas who are to attain highest complete enlightenment. Out of their compassion for sentient beings, they wish to be born among them in order to expound and explain the Lotus Sutra far and wide. How much more to be honored are those who completely preserve the entire sutra and pay homage to it with various offerings. O Vaisajaya Raja, you should know that after my parinirvana, these people will set aside the rewards of their pure karma and be born in the troubled world out of their compassion for sentient beings, and in order to expound this sutra far and wide. After my parinirvana, if there are any sons and daughters of a virtuous family who expound even a single line of the Lotus Sutra in private to even a single person, they should be acknowledged as the ambassadors of the Tathagata. They have been dispatched by the Tathagata and carry out the Tathagata's work. As for those who extensively teach among the common people, know that they are yet greater ambassadors. O Vaisajaya Raja, if there are erring people during a kalpa, those with troubled thoughts who always disparage the Buddha in his presence, their fault is none the less slight. Yet if there are those who disparage the laity or ordained people who recite the Lotus Sutra, even with a single evil word, their fault is extremely grave. O Vaisajaya Raja, know that those who recite this Lotus Sutra adorn themselves with the adornments of a Buddha. This means that they will carry the Tathagata on their shoulders and pay him homage wherever they go. They should be respected, revered, honored, and praised wholeheartedly with palms pressed together through offerings of flowers, perfumes, necklaces, scented powders, ointments, burning incense, canopies, flags, banners, clothing, delicious food, music, and the best offerings that people can make. They should have heavenly jewels scattered upon them and offered to them. Why is this? Because these people joyfully expound the Dharma, and those who hear it, even for an instant, will fully attain highest, complete enlightenment. Thereupon, the Bhagavat, wanting to elaborate upon the meaning of this further, spoke these verses, quote, "Those who want to abide in the Buddha path and perfect the wisdom of the self-generated one should always diligently pay homage to those who preserve the Lotus Sutra. Those who want to quickly attain omniscience should hold to this sutra and pay homage to those who preserve it. Know that anyone who preserves the Lotus Sutra is an ambassador of the Buddha who feels compassion for sentient beings. Those who preserve the Lotus Sutra were born here in this world, withholding themselves from the Pure Land out of their compassion for sentient beings. Know that such people are born where and when they will. They are born in this troubled world to extensively expound the highest Dharma. Such expounders of the Dharma should be revered with offerings of divine flowers, perfumes, heavenly jeweled clothing, and exquisite celestial jewels. Those who preserve this sutra in the troubled world after my parinirvana should be paid homage with palms pressed together, just as one pays homage to the Bhagavat. These heirs of the Buddhas should be revered with delicious food, various delicacies, and a variety of clothing, in the hope of hearing the teaching even for an instant. If in the future there is anyone who preserves this sutra, I will dispatch him to the world of humans to carry out the Tathagata's task. If throughout one entire kalpa there is anyone with erring thoughts who always disparages the Buddha with an angry countenance, the consequences of his grave errors will be incalculable. If there is anyone who speaks a hostile word even for an instant about those who recite and preserve this Lotus Sutra, his fault will be even greater. If throughout one entire kalpa there are people seeking for the Buddha path who praise the Buddha in my presence with incalculable numbers of verses and with palms pressed together, the merits they attain will be immeasurable because of praising this Buddha. If there are people who praise those who preserve the sutra, their merit will be even greater. You must pay tribute to those who preserve this sutra throughout 80 kotis of kalpas with the best objects, sounds, fragrances, flavors, and materials. If you are able to hear the teaching for even a moment, after having paid tribute in this way, you will then become delighted, thinking, quote, I have now attained great benefits. O Vaisajaya Raja, I now tell you that I have taught many sutras. Among these sutras, however, the Lotus Sutra is the utmost and best. Then the Buddha spoke further to Bodhisattva Mahasattva Vaisajaya Raja, saying, quote, There are innumerable thousands of myriads of kotis of sutras I have taught in the past, which I teach now, and which I will teach in the future. Among them, however, this Lotus Sutra is the most difficult to accept and to understand. O Vaisajaya Raja, this sutra is the treasure house of the hidden essence of all the Buddhas. It must not be distributed or heedlessly bestowed upon the people. Since times long past, all the Buddha Bhagavats have protected it and have never openly taught it. Moreover, people show great hostility to this sutra, even in the presence of the Tathagata. How much more so after the parinirvana of the Tathagata? O Vaisajaya Raja, you should know that after the parinirvana of the Tathagata, those who copy, preserve, recite, and revere this sutra and expound it for the sake of others will be clothed with the Tathagata's garments and treasured by the present Buddhas of the other directions. Such people will have the power of great faith, the power of aspiration, as well as the power of the roots of good merit. You should know that these people have dwelled together with the Tathagata, and his hand has caressed their heads. O Vaisajaya Raja, wherever this sutra is taught, read, recited, copied, or wherever it is to be found, one should build a 7-jeweled stupa of great height and width and richly ornamented. There is no need to put a relic inside. Why is this? Because the Tathagata is already in it. This stupa should be respected, honored, praised, and rendered homage with offerings of all kinds of flowers, perfumes, necklaces, canopies, flags, banners, music, and songs. If there is anyone able to see this stupa and to pay it homage and honor it, know that such a one is nearing highest complete enlightenment. O Vaisajaya Raja, among the many people, either among the laity or the ordained, who practice the Bodhisattva path, if they are unable to see, hear, recite, copy, preserve, and pay homage to this Lotus Sutra, know that they are people who are not yet properly practicing the Bodhisattva path. If anyone is able to hear this sutra, such a one is skillfully practicing the Bodhisattva path. Among sentient beings seeking the Buddha path, if there are those who see or hear this Lotus Sutra, and, after hearing it, are drawn to it and preserve it, know that they are those who are approaching highest complete enlightenment. O Vaisajaya Raja, suppose there were a thirsty man seeking water. He drills in search of water on a high plain, yet he sees only dry earth, and thus realizes that water is still far away. But he does not cease his efforts until he turns up moist earth and gradually reaches mud. Now he is sure that water must be near. The Bodhisattvas are exactly like this. If they have not yet heard, understood, or been able to practice this Lotus Sutra, they should be known as people who are still far away from the highest complete enlightenment. If they hear, understand, contemplate, and are able to practice it, they realize that they are certainly nearing highest complete enlightenment. Why is this? Because the highest complete enlightenment of all the Bodhisattvas is within this sutra. This sutra opens the gate of skillful means and reveals the marks of the truth. The treasure house of this Lotus Sutra is deep and remote. No one is able to discover its depths. That is why the Buddha now reveals it, inspiring and perfecting the Bodhisattvas. O Vaisajaya Raja, if there are Bodhisattvas who hear this Lotus Sutra and are confused and frightened, know that they are Bodhisattvas in whom the thought of enlightenment has only recently awakened. If there are Shravakas who hear this sutra and are confused and frightened, know that they are people who have excessive pride. O Vaisajaya Raja, if there are any sons and daughters of a virtuous family who, after the parinirvana of the Tathagata, want to teach this Lotus Sutra to the Fourfold Assembly, how should they teach it? These sons and daughters of a virtuous family, after entering the abode of the Tathagata, wearing the Tathagata's garments, and sitting on his seat, should then extensively teach this sutra to the Fourfold Assembly. The Tathagata's chamber is nothing but the great compassion toward all sentient beings. The Tathagata's garments are the thoughts of gentleness and perseverance, and the Tathagata's seat is the very emptiness of all existing things. After settling among them, one should tirelessly and extensively expound this Lotus Sutra for the sake of the Bodhisattvas and the Fourfold Assembly. O by Sajaya Raja, I will dispatch transformed beings to other worlds who will gather the people together to hear the teaching. I will also dispatch transformed monks, nuns, laymen, and laywomen to hear this teaching. All these transformed beings will hear the Dharma, believe and accept it, and not reject it. If an expounder of the Dharma resides in a secluded place, I will then dispatch many devas, nagas, yaksas, gandharvas, and asuras to hear this teaching. Although I will be in a different land, I will periodically let the expounders of the Dharma see me. If they forget a line of this sutra, I will explain it again, enabling them to master it. Thereupon, the Bhagavat, wanting to elaborate on the meaning of this further, spoke these verses. If you wish to rid yourself of idleness, you should listen to this sutra. This sutra is rarely heard, and it is also difficult to accept. Suppose there were a thirsty man seeking for water by drilling into the earth on a high plain. He sees only dry earth and knows that water is still far away. He gradually sees the moist earth turn into mud and knows with certainty that water is near. O by Sajaya Raja, you should know that those people who do not hear the Lotus Sutra are very far away from the Buddha's wisdom. If they hear this profound sutra, which brings resolution to the Sravakas, and if they hear this king of sutras and attentively contemplate it, know that these people are close to the Buddha's wisdom. If people want to expound this sutra, they should enter the Tathagata's chamber, put on the Tathagata's garments, and sit on the Tathagata's seat. They then should face the people without fear, so that they may extensively illuminate and explain it to the assembly. The Tathagata's chamber is great compassion. His garments are gentleness and perseverance, and his seat is the emptiness of all existent things. After settling among them, they should expound the Dharma, even if when they expound this sutra people disparage them with evil words or attack them with swords, sticks, tiles, or stones. Being mindful of the Buddha, they should persevere. I will manifest my pure and solid form in thousands of myriads of kotis of lands and teach the Dharma to sentient beings for immeasurable kotis of kalpas. If, after my parinirvana, there is someone who is able to teach this sutra, I will dispatch a transformed fourfold assembly of monks, nuns, laymen, and laywomen to pay homage to this expounder of the Dharma. I will leave the sentient beings and gather them together to let them hear the teaching. If anyone wishes to do ill to them with swords, sticks, tiles, or stones, then I will dispatch those transformed ones in order to guard them. If there is any expounder of the Dharma who recites this sutra in a secluded, tranquil place where there is no sound of human beings, I will then manifest my body of pure light. If they forget a chapter or verse, I will teach it to them, enabling them to master it. If anyone perfects these qualities, if he teaches the fourfold assembly, or in a solitary place recites this sutra, such a person will be able to see me. If anyone abides in a secluded place, I will dispatch devas, naga kings, yaksas, and rakshasas to be an audience to their teaching. Such people will teach the Dharma willingly and explain it without obstruction. Because all the Buddhas protect them, they gladden the great community of people. Anyone who closely attends an expounder of the Dharma will immediately attain the Bodhisattva path. Anyone who follows this expounder's instructions will be able to meet Buddhas equal in number to the sands of the Ganges River.